The book of Esther is a captivating story of courage, faith, and God's unseen hand guiding events to save his people. Let's walk through these chapters, imagining it as an engaging story. Okay, as this incredible drama unfolds. First chapter talks about the banquet of King Xerxes, Ahasuerus. Our story begins with this with a great feast in the Persian Empire, hosted by this king. This king knows how to throw a party. It's been going on for 6 months. In the middle of it all, he asks Queen Vasti to show off her beauty to his guests, but she refuses. Furious, the king banishes Vasti, which sets the stage for a new queen. Right here, we see a subtle reminder. In the most, even the most powerful people are only human, and the stage is set for God's providence to work. Now, our uh, queen enters in the second chapter. After Vasti's exit, the search begins for a new queen, and all the beautiful young women are brought to the palace. Um, Now, enter Esther, a young Jewish woman raised by her cousin, uncle Mordecai. Esther is chosen for her beauty and grace, but there's this twist. She keeps her Jewish identity a secret. Out of all the women, the king chooses her as queen. Esther's humility and courage shine through, showing that God often works through unexpected people and quiet obedience. Now, Haman's evil plot. We meet this guy called Haman in third chapter, the king's official, highest official. He's not a nice guy. When Mordecai, Esther's cousin, he refuses to bow to him, Haman's ego takes a huge hit. Enraged, he not only wants to kill Mordecai, but decides to destroy all the Jews in Persia. Haman tricks the king into signing a decree to annihilate them. It's a tense chapter that reminds us how unchecked pride and hatred can drive people to terrible deeds. But hold on, God's not going to let this happen. Fourth chapter, another key passages in the book of Esther. Mordecai is plea to uh, Esther. When Mordecai hears about Haman's plan, he is devastated. He goes into mourning and sends a message to Esther, urging her to speak to the king and save her people. She hesitates at first, knowing it could cost her life. After one can just walk into the king's presence without a summons. No one can actually do that. No one can, uh, after all, no one can just walk into king's presence without summons. But Mordecai's words hit hard. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Esther agrees to help, asking Mordecai and the Jews to fast and pray for her. This chapter highlights the call to courage and faith even in terrifying situations. And in fact, we see the hand of God, unseen hand of God, through this fasting and praying. And we see this bold move, that courage that follows. Uh, with a mix of fears and faith, uh, you know, Esther approaches the king. Amazingly, he welcomes her. She doesn't immediately reveal Haman's plot. Instead, she invites the king and Haman to a banquet. Esther's patience and wisdom show us that sometimes timing is everything. She knows the importance of waiting on the right moment, and she's willing to trust God's timing. She's not hurried. She's willing, confident, taking the risk, but she's using her wisdom. Now, a sleepless night and a surprise twist we see in the sixth chapter. The king can't sleep, so he reads the royal records and reminded that Mordecai, once saved his life from an assassination plot. The king asks Haman how to honor someone, and Haman, assuming it's himself, describes a lavish parade. Imagine his shock when the king orders him to honor Mordecai instead. This ironic twist shows that God has a way of turning the tables, and sometimes he uses the simplest of events, like a sleepless night, to bring justice. And now we see a seventh chapter, Esther exposing Haman. At Esther's second banquet, the moment of truth arrives. The king asks her what she wants, and Esther bravely reveals Haman's plot to destroy her people. The king is furious and storms out. When he returns, he finds Haman pleading for his life. And in a final twist, Haman is executed on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Esther's courage and trust in God lead to Haman's downfall, proving that standing up for what's right can have powerful results. And now we see King's new decree in the eighth chapter. With Haman gone, Esther and Mordecai work to protect the Jews. The king issues a new decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves against any attacks. There's a relief and a celebration among the people as they see God's protection over them. This chapter shows us that God often works through people who are willing to step up and make a difference. It's a reminder that faith in action brings results. Now, victory and the first Purim we see in chapter 9. When the day of the decree arrives, the Jews are ready. They defend themselves and gain a massive victory over their enemies. To remember their deliverance, Mordecai establishes the Feast of Purim, a joyful celebration that continues to this day. This chapter shows us the power of remembrance, taking time to thank God for his faithfulness and to celebrate his protection. Now, Mordecai's rise, 10th chapter talks, and in fact, this is the conclusion with Mordecai being honored and promoted, using his position for the good of his people. His journey from a man in sackcloth to the king's right hand is a statement to God's faithfulness and justice. This chapter encourages us to stay faithful and humble, trusting that God sees our faithfulness and can rise us up from for His purposes. So now Esther is a story of courage, timing, and divine providence. And though God's name is not mentioned explicitly, His hand is evident in every chapter, working behind the scenes, starting from Vashti's exit and Mordecai being honored and the Israelites deliverance. All this brings about the purpose. uh, Esther's bravery, Mordecai's faithfulness, and the people's unity in fasting and praying all contribute to this incredible story and victory. This teaches us that we are often positioned for a purpose, and that God can use ordinary people like you and me to do extraordinary things when we step out in faith. Powerful reminder that even in our toughest moments, God is at work and He has a plan for us for such a time as this. I really thank God for this beautiful, lovely character, Hadassah in Hebrew, Esther in their Persian language. Such an impact that showed on every believer's life. Not only her courage and her wisdom and how to put across her plea in front of a human being, though the king is just a human being, but she had God and his big picture on her mind all through uh, that period. So praise God for characters and people like Esther and Mordecai. And look at this time frame also to get one understanding where all these things are happening. This will enhance your interaction and your learnings from these three Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther books. God bless you.